Hey everybody, I'm your host Neil Edling, and welcome to a very special episode of the Cynic Show. We have a real treat for you guys today. We're gonna bitch about something we've been wanting to talk about for a long time. This episode is about Bethesda Softworks mostly, but we got a little Nintendo at the end, hopefully. If we remember and we're not too drunk. Got a very special treat. I have something I got just for this episode. I want you guys to listen to the most beautiful sound in the world. What do you think?
The sound of an alcoholic.
An alcoholic beverage. Alright.
So an alcoholic all around.
Hey, I don't like to throw down names.
Disability on everybody, just so you know.
What are you, my sponsor?
I could be.
No, you're an enabler.
Like, are we doing a beer drinking competition or something? You want me to sponsor you for that?
Yes. You buy the beer, I'll drink the beer. I'm on a fixed income.
Right. We're going to videotape it, though. And you're going to be drinking about, I want to say 100 beers in under 20 minutes. And we're going to see how quickly we can get you in the hospital.
Am I allowed to do
Jaeger
with it?
We're going to make you actually disabled. We're going to see if we make you brain damaged.
Let's hope it doesn't. Otherwise, I won't be able to be perpetually disappointed at Bethesda again.
Alright. I get it. You want to move on to the topic.
Okay, first up we got Doom. The new Doom. What did you think about it? You actually played this game. I did not.
Yep, the campaign is really fucking good. It harkens back to old kinds of shooters. There's no sprint, which I fucking hate sprint. One of the fucking stupidest things ever added into modern games. It's just a goddamn illusion. But other than that, you know, it's just all around a good fucking shooter. It's got some minor platforming in it and stuff. Multiplayer is kind of because they have fucking classes in it for some goddamn reason. I think they got the guy that made Halo 4 to do the fucking multiplayer for God knows why.
Now that was the biggest disappointment about this new Doom for me, was the fact that they added classes. In the original, if I'm not mistaken, and you know, people on the internet will correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but Doom was an arena shooter, you know, whenever they added multiplayer.
Yep. And the campaign still is an arena shooter, and if you use Snap Map, you can actually turn the multiplayer into a classic arena shooter, but the base multiplayer that you actually get to play with matchmaking is a fucking class-based arena shooter hybrid thing that makes no fucking sense. Seriously, why do people need to, like, try to fix what isn't broken? Just make a fucking Doom multiplayer. Just do what you did in the campaign, except make it so you can kill each other. That's all we need. They do the same shit with Halo every year and they fuck it up.
Yeah, well, you know, when Bungie left, it was all downhill from there. Alright. Dishonored. We got Dishonored now. Now, Dishonored 2 looks good so far. You know, I'm sure they'll find a way to fuck it up. Huh?
I haven't looked too much into Dishonored 2, but I did like the first one, despite the fact that I never actually finished it.
Yeah. I mean, it was good.
So what kind of new stuff are they adding in Dishonored 2?
I guess there's a level where you got like a crystal thing, and you can go back in time like you're in this mansion. And instead of, you know, like you're in the mansion in the present, but you got to go back in time, or you got to go back. You can switch between past and present, yeah. And then you got to figure out what happened or something. And it looks really cool. And they added some new powers.
So is it like a mystery thing now then, instead of just assassinating people?
I think it is, because you get to also play as Emily now, instead of just Corvo.
Alright.
And she's got a whole slew of powers she got from the Outsider, or whatever his name is. So hopefully that one will be okay.
Good. As long as it's the same team doing it and they aren't having somebody interfere and fuck stuff up, I don't see why it wouldn't be good. Usually, like, the first sequel to a game is pretty fucking decent, if not better than the original. I mean, just look at fucking just about every game franchise, really. Halo, Halo 2, fucking Sonic, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Usually the direct sequel is just an expansion.
Completely agree with you. Alright. Now we get to my favorite part. Let's talk about all the trash that they're throwing out there into the market. First off, I would like to bring this up first because it's as the most recent. Prey 2. They bought Prey. They bought the original Prey project from, I'm not really 100% sure. I think it was Arcane.
That sounds right, but I'm not gonna say that
well, someone will correct us if we're wrong.
Idea.
So anyhow, they bought this project. They bought Prey 2, and it was almost done. They decided, we're just gonna wait. So they waited on it, and then they canceled it. And it looked like it was gonna be the greatest game ever. It looked like it was the Boba Fett game you never had when you were a kid. You had jet boots.
The Boba Fett game that you wanted, but nobody ever fucking wanted to put the time in to make it right.
Oh yeah, jet boots, electric bolas, all kinds of crazy shit.
Open world type shit. You fucking run around chasing down alien fugitives.
Yeah, and so they bought this, they canceled Prey 2, and then they released this rehash of the original Prey that probably is not going to be as good.
It's a horror game that's basically Alien.
Yeah.
Like, are they just trying to copy Alien Isolation?
I think they are.
I'm getting from the vibe. Like, it went from being about a badass bounty hunter chasing fucking aliens down into being about a guy that has pink eye and looking at alien ooze and being afraid of things. The only saving grace I want to say on this is it might end up having a decent story because Chris Avellone was actually hired away from Obsidian to write the story for this shit. And as you know, Chris Avellone is the guy that wrote the fucking script or whatever, was one of the people working on Fallout 2 and New Vegas.
So it might be okay.
So he's actually a good writer.
Kind of curious myself to see what the gameplay is going to be like. But I imagine they're going to rip off of Alien Isolation pretty good. That does seem to be the fad, is to make actual, semi-scary games nowadays.
Yep. Ever since PewDiePie got big, everybody wants to make survival horror games, which is funny because they aren't really all that popular outside of YouTube.
Yeah.
People play them, and probably the people that play them in Scream, like bitches, make more money than the people that actually made the fucking game. Because I know Alien Isolation, despite being acclaimed by fans and critics alike, except for IGN, that actually didn't make a whole lot of money. I think it sold maybe 1 million copies or something.
Something like that. I still gotta buy my copy.
You need to fucking play that, dude. It's amazing.
I gotta get a new headphones that I could play it with so I get that real surround sound feel.
Yeah, you fucking need that too. You get to hear that fucker in the vents and shit. Probably the only time I ever screamed while playing a fucking game.
Well, since you endorse it, I figure I'll try it.
If you like BioShock, and you like fucking the Alien movies, you'll like it.
Okay. Alright, let's talk about the decline of the Elder Scrolls series.
Ugh. One of my favorite franchises completely fucking destroyed.
Absolutely.
So, I guess I'll take it from here to avoid an awkward pause where you just sit there in silence.
Okay.
But anyways, we start off with Arena and Daggerfall, which I admittedly never fucking played because it was on DOS or whatever. Fucking way too early for me. I was a kid then. But I played Morrowind on the fucking original Xbox. I love that shit. And I heard Arena and Daggerfall were even better. But fucking Todd Howard comes in, he makes goddamn Morrowind, which is a fucking great game. I would consider it a masterpiece. And it does fairly well, review-wise and everything. People that actually play RPGs understand the mechanics and stuff and they get along fine, but the fucking masses don't understand like the combat, why you can't actually hit things every time and stuff. So, anyways, they move on to Oblivion. Now they get rid of the whole fucking rolls in order for your attacks to go through and shit. So they basically are streamlining the combat down a little bit to make it a little easier to grasp. But they fucking also remove stuff like what was it, like spears and shit?
Spears. Yeah,
They pulled out
crossbows.
some of the armor. They got rid of the fucking sweet-ass werewolf transformation. Basically, they just got rid of content, and they half-assed the world design. I think they put, like, most of the world on a randomizer or some shit.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Overall, the quests, though, in that game are so good that it holds it up. The worst part of the game, though, is the fucking leveling system, where if you start the game at level 1 and you just go through it and never level up,
You can beat the game by level 5.
Yeah, it'll be easier. You don't even have to fucking level up to level 5. You just fucking walk through the game and you never level up, and it'll actually be easier than if you fucking leveled up to level 100, because they have it so every enemy scales with you like every fucking level. You want to go through the game only being attacked by fucking mud crabs, just stay level 1. Then we move on to Skyrim, the critically acclaimed fucking massive success that I still say is only a success because it was fucking marketed out the asshole. They basically
right.
took every RPG element out of that fucking game.
Oh,
that
yeah.
game is basically walking around in the snow and stabbing things. And then sometimes you go into a fucking dungeon and you fight Droger over and over and over again for like 100 fucking hours. And when you're in the goddamn dungeon, they all have the same fucking puzzle with that like bird, that fucking whale, the dolphin or whatever.
And the vagina
fucking,
thing.
Like, mutilated vagina or whatever the fuck it's supposed to be. It's like a fucking vagina with a thumb sticking out of it. I can't tell what it is. It's probably Todd Howard's mom.
I don't think I'd hit that one.
Then they have like fucking dragon shouts because, I mean, let's make it so being a wizard is less special.
Yeah, how are you
Let's make
supposed
it
to
so
do your
everybody
magic
has-
when there's a dragon shout for every spell?
Yeah, there's no point even being a fucking wizard in that game, which is hilarious because pretty much everybody I know decided they're always like, I'm gonna be a battle mage, and it's like, fucking everybody in the game's a battle mage. You have fucking dragon shouts. They have like fire dragon shouts. They have fucking wind dragon shouts. You can call on a fucking goddamn storm like you're the god of fucking lightning or some shit. Why the fuck would you even bother just shooting little bolts of electricity?
Call in dragons. You know, my favorite thing in that is the fact that if you just level up the first shout, the game is just so fucking easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
like, there's no challenge. You just push things
hoo-ha,
over.
whatever.
Hoo-ha. I think that's what it is, right? Hoo-ha, hoo.
You just go hoo-ha, and then fucking everything dies.
Yep.
You know, fucking that game, too. I'd never hear people talk about the difficulty in it and everything. But it's basically the polar opposite of Oblivion, where in Oblivion, everything was basically always hard, unless you set the fucking slider way down. But with Skyrim, it's just fucking easy, no matter what. You turn the slider all the way up on super difficult or whatever.
It's the same
and you're
fucking
still able to
game.
kill shit in like, you can still just kill shit in like fucking 3 shots. All you need to do to win at that game is use a bow, fucking crouch, and then you get like hidden attack skills. And you fucking kill everything in like 2 seconds. I was killing like dragons in fucking 3 shots. At level fucking 5 or some shit. There was no challenge to the game. What the fuck was the point of the game, really? Is it to just walk around and like hoard shit in your house that you're never gonna look at?
Pretty much.
All the weapons are the same.
My friend back in the day, he used to just tank dragons, you know, like this is supposed to be the hardest fucking creature in the game, right? Is a dragon.
Yep.
And my friend is just like, yeah, I can one hit those if I really want to. I'm just like,
yeah.
What's the point? How is that?
What?
Where's the challenge in that?
And the thing is, that would be cool if you actually had to work towards that. But pretty much everybody can get to that point in like 5 seconds.
Yep.
Because the game is just built for fucking retards.
For retards, dumbed down for retards.
Everybody that plays that game has the exact same fucking experience. There isn't any like alternate sides you can pick except for that one quest line where you either pick the Northerners or the Imperials or whatever. And even that, like, nothing changes when you pick that.
Same fucking story.
Look at fucking older RPGs, or even New Vegas, which was published by Bethesda, everyone. They didn't actually make it, and that's why that game's actually fucking good. That game has, like, multiple endings and pathways and stuff. Every time you fucking make a decision, it basically closes off things. So everybody that plays that game is going to have a different experience, which is fucking awesome, and allows you to talk with your friends about it. When I hear people talk about Skyrim, they're like, well, I totally, like, was exploring, and I went in this dungeon, and I killed, like, fucking 30 Droger.
And then I got a new dragon shout that allowed me to fucking jump off of cliffs without taking damage, bruh. So fucking awesome, bruh. Oh my god, Skyrim. Skyrim job.
Fucking Skyrim job.
Skyrim job.
I'm glad people finally shut the fuck up about that goddamn game. That pissed me off so much when that shit was so fucking huge out of nowhere. All these people that never played the Elder Scrolls at all were just freaking out over this piece of shit.
Yeah, well...
Alright, what's next on the agenda?
The decline of the Fallout.
Oh, boy. Alright. I'm gonna give a little backstory here, because I don't want to give off the vibe that I've been playing this shit since 1997, because I wasn't. Now, Fallout 3 was actually my introduction to this fucking series. And I liked it at the time. So I understand why people like that game. But then fucking New Vegas came out, and I was like, holy shit, the writing in this is so much better. I feel like I have so much that I can do in this game. There's so many different pathways and choices and stuff. It made me go back and play 1 and 2. And ever since I played 1 and 2, I basically just cannot fucking respect Bethesda in any way, or even bother to touch Fallout 3 again, because it's so fucking shitty compared to the rest of the series, and they completely missed the mark in every way.
Yeah, the linear story that, you know, completely linear.
Yep.
It's like...
So, basically...
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
We have this awesome game named Fallout. It was a, kind of a spiritual successor to Wasteland, because Brian Fargo couldn't get the rights or something back from EA when they went out on their own, so they ended up making Fallout. Tim Kaine pretty much designed the whole fucking thing by himself for a while. They brought people in later on. Anyways, this fucking game gave you all these choices and everything, all these fucking awesome quests. You could go through the game stealthily, you could talk your way through it, you could do all sorts of fucking crazy shit. Great fucking game. Fallout 2 comes out, basically an expansion on Fallout 1, more quests and shit. Little, more choice. Longer. A little bit sillier, though. People weren't all excited about that. But, you know, I fucking dug it still. Then, we get Van Buren. I'm not going to talk about tactics or anything, because they are mainline fucking games. But Van Buren, the official Fallout 3, nearing completion. And then
like
it gets
90% complete, if I'm right?
Yep. Shit's about ready to be fucking complete, and then it gets canceled, and then it gets fucking sold to Bethesda, and then just like fucking Prey 2, they don't bother to release it. Instead, they just sit on that shit, and then they make their piece of shit, Fallout 3, and then they basically advertise it as Elder Scrolls with guns to get fans.
I'm starting to see a pattern
Which is how they got me, okay?
Alright.
And then fucking all these fans freak out over Fallout 3. It becomes a big thing. Luckily, they went to make that piece of shit Skyrim, and at the time, when Fallout hype was huge and everybody wanted a sequel, Obsidian managed to sneak in there and make a fucking sequel. They got a deal to do it. And we got the magnificent New Vegas, which in my opinion is the true sequel to Fallout 2. It even uses some story aspects from Van Buren. But then, we have in this, just like last year, that piece of shit Fallout 4 comes out. This is fucking Skyrim all over again. This is mass hysteria, fucking dogs and cats living together bullshit. Fucking, they announce this goddamn game. They show off gameplay for it. Everybody freaks the fuck out.
Except for the people that really play the games. You know, we noticed that the skills are gone.
Yeah. Everybody that actually fucking plays Fallout and knows what the fuck Fallout's about instantly sees this shit and says, yeah, this is gonna be fucking retarded. They're streamlining it again. They're gonna Skyrim this shit. Meanwhile, the masses are just doing nothing but freaking out over goddamn building their little arts and crafts houses and shit in the game. But everybody that actually knows anything about the series is like, yeah, skills are gone, this game's fucked. Skills are gone, this game's fucked. Every time you say something, the masses freak out on you and bitch at you and call you a dickhead and blah, 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 tell you you're fucking stupid. Guess what? Game comes out, fucking breaks records and shit, and everybody stops playing it after a week.
Yep. See, I don't think Fallout was ever about rebuilding the wasteland like they tried to do with Fallout 4. I think Fallout, as a series, is more about trying to survive the wasteland.
Well, it's about rebuilding and surviving, because you have factions and stuff like the NCR and everything. But it's supposed to be kind of like a butterfly effect scenario, not with time travel, obviously, except there is a few time travel things in the series, but where one person can cause a big difference over time, right? Like Fallout 1, your actions in that actually leads to the NCR being created, and so on. Each fucking sequel, you basically find out what the long-term reactions... yeah.
So it's more political is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Okay, I
It's
understand
about
now.
how you kind of like civilize the wasteland over time.
Not about, going to save settlements every 30 seconds.
No, it's not about being the all-powerful fucking settlement builder where you just build towns because, I don't know, fucking, you're the Dragonborn in Fallout 4 too? I don't fucking know.
I'm surprised they didn't have mutant shouts.
Yep, fucking mutant shouts. That would have been perfect. You should work for Bethesda.
Hashtag mutant shouts.
I bet that fucking douchebag Todd Howard would love that idea.
He probably would. I'm full of good ideas.
And here's the kicker. Fucking Fallout 3, right? Despite not being very varied or anything, it still had, like, what, 2 endings or something in the base game before they overwrote it and made it so you were stuck with Broken Steel ending no matter what, where you're with the Brotherhood of Steel.
But it's not all the same ending. It is... that's what... I'm sorry, I was wrong. It's the same ending no matter what. It's all about either you do the water chip or you don't do the water chip.
Yeah. Then fucking Fallout 4, after New Vegas comes out with all these goddamn endings, there's like 4 that are based on the main quest. And then there's all the little endings for every fucking big-time quest that you do. Every, like, achievement-based quest, pretty much. And, like, all the side characters and stuff, companions. They all get, like, an alternate ending depending on what you did with them. But Fallout 4 comes out and it doesn't fucking learn anything. They put out a game with fucking 2 endings again. You're either good or you're evil or whatever. Fucking all the goddamn dialogue options in the game get reduced to 4 choices. It's either fucking, yes, I'll do this quest, no, I'll not do this quest, but I really will anyways. Or fucking, what is it, be rude or something like that, I think was the 3rd one. It's like, fuck off, and then I think the last one is something like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. So it's basically 4 yeses.
Oh, another thing I'd like to point out is...
I think they make you do the quest anyways.
Another thing I'd like to point out is, in the original Fallouts in New Vegas, your intelligence level also has an effect on your speech. Like, there was this one part, I'm not sure what it is, where this dude's talking all sciencey to you, and if you're like low intelligence and you're this girl,
Mr. Fantastic,
he says, you see your girl character's like, what? And he's all like, oh, you're just a pretty young thing, aren't you? Like, that was kind of funny.
Oh, all right, I haven't seen that one.
I was in New Vegas, and it happens in the first one, or Fallout 2, where, like, if you're a retard and you go over and you're like, like barely can fucking speak, and you go over to this other retard, you'll actually have an intelligent conversation with this guy in Fallout 2. I think he's in the first town. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Meanwhile, everybody else talks to you like you're a fucking retard, except for the one guy that's also a retard.
Yep.
They also have it so, if you go to, I think it's New Reno, if memory serves me right, there's like a boxing area or something, and there's a lady you can talk to, and you can walk up to her and fucking, she'll start asking you questions, and you'll just start reciting of Mice and Men shit. You'll be like, oh, fucking, what is it, Lenny or
Yeah,
what
Lenny.
the hell are the names of the characters?
Lenny and the Rabbits.
Something else. Yeah, you'll do like the Lenny says we're gonna go get a couple acres and I can pet
Or
all the rabbits
George,
I want
yeah.
or some shit.
And George was the brains. Lenny was the
Yeah,
retard.
that's what I was getting confused on. So you're basically Lenny, and then you're talking about George getting a few acres. It was just little touches like that. In New Vegas, they had the ice cream thing where if you were fucking retarded.
Yeah, they in Fallout 2. Shit, I had something great. It's gone now, forever.
It's all right.
But yeah,
So
I
basically,
mean, in Fallout 2, you could be a porn star. You know.
Yep.
You could be a flat-out porn star. I mean, you don't see that nowadays. Like, Bethesda's not that, you know?
You could fucking kill kids, too.
Yep. It's a fucking shame. Well, I mean, I think there's actually...
Now the Wasteland has no children, and the children that are alive just fucking stand there and are immune to bullets. So I don't know what the fuck that's all about.
So you gotta listen to them through the whole game.
It just is immersion breaking. It isn't like I want to go out and just murder kids or anything in the games. It's just weird when fucking a kid gets caught in the crossfire, they don't die.
Did you want to tell them about the plot similarities? Or can I do that?
You can do that.
Okay, so I got a great one for you, all you Cynic Show fans out there. So you got Fallout 3. You're a son trying to find his dad. And Fallout 4, you're a dad trying to find his son. What? Mind-breaking. It's revolutionary. It's brilliant.
God.
1010 GOTY, everybody.
And there are super mutants everywhere in both places, even though it makes no sense, lore-wise.
Yep.
No, I'm not going to discuss why it makes no sense. You guys have a fucking computer. You can look that up because it'll take too long.
Hint, hint, he's speaking about Fallout 1 and 2.
Yep. If you haven't played those two, you won't fucking know.
Alright, let's change up the subject. Let's go over to the Super NES. Or the Mini NES, right? I think you told me about this project.
So Nintendo is releasing a new console this year that's actually an old console, except tiny as fuck. So it's basically just an original Nintendo, minus the cartridge slot and stuff, hooked up with HDMI so you can actually play these games in 1080p, and it's going to have 30 Nintendo classics built into it.
Just 30.
Unfortunately, there's no way to install more shit. Like, there's a Genesis you can get that's a little mini Genesis. The sound's a little fucked up on it and everything, but you can put an SD card in that bitch, and you can pretty much put whatever game you want on there. Most of the library works. But the thing that I'm excited about for this little mini Nintendo is actually the fact that it might lead to a mini Super Nintendo, so I can get fucking Super Metroid on a tiny-ass Super Nintendo and have it ready for HDMI in 1080p.
I really hope they add a USB support or like a SD, because I mean 30 games for how much are they charged? Did they say the price yet?
$60.
30 games for $60. I could do better than that with Rare Replay. That's 30 games for $30.
That's true, but you don't get hardware with Rare Replay.
Yeah, but still, you know.
But still, you can get a fucking little mini Genesis and an SD card slot.
Huh.
I mean, I have a portable one even. That thing's fucking badass.
I got the portable Genesis too. It is a really cool
Not
thing.
the Nomad people. This is like a little fucking one. It's officially licensed, but it's not made by Sega.
Yeah. It is a cool system. I highly recommend it to you.
But all I want is a goddamn little system that I can have that's gonna fucking have like a high def Super Metroid in it. I was hoping I could get a decent version of Super Metroid on my 3DS, but it turns out Nintendo are a bunch of scumbags, and they're making it so in order to play Super Nintendo games on your fucking 3DS,
you gotta buy a new one.
A fucking new 3DS. You can't use the old one like I have. You have to spend $200 fucking dollars to buy a new one, because What, like, how the fuck does a 3DS not have the ability, standard 3DS, not have the ability to play a Super Nintendo game, but it has Genesis games on the eShop?
It's a marketing ploy. Nintendo is obviously making these consoles that they can't sell because everybody realizes. I mean, some of them are cool, like the Wii U. That's a cool idea on paper, but in all actuality, nobody wants a fucking screen on their goddamn controller. Come on,
No one
now.
wants a controller that big.
Oh, who wants to pay an extra? And it's an extra $150 just for the controller. That's why the Wii U's $300. The normal console, if you go to a game store, it's only like $130 without that fucking thing. You can get an actual controller with the 2 analog sticks, and you never have to worry about it. It's crap. And I'm scared to see what the NX is going to be like. Shit, if they had a super fine tablet, like high-end tablet onto the controller like they did, because they're talking about doing another screen, because the first one, wasn't. They're like, oh, well, we just didn't do it right. But, I mean,
the rumors I've heard is it's going to be like a portable console hybrid where the second screen is actually going to be like a 3DS size or something.
Like I said, though, but I mean,
just take with you.
Like, how much more money is this going to cost? Because, I mean, Xbox and PlayStation, they're pretty cheap now.
Yep.
I just don't see it working. I think Nintendo's going to flop like Sega. And, I mean,
I don't know, dude. They have a lot of fucking money, especially after Pokemon Go recently. They got all that Wii money, and now they're getting all this fucking Pokemon Go money. They're pretty much set. When Nintendo hits, they hit fucking hard. It's just when they flop, they basically just kind of dwindle around in purgatory for like fucking 4 years.
They're like, back to the drawing board, guys. We gotta come up with a new console. Call this the Mini NES. No updates.
They're like the masters of throwing shit at the fucking wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah.
They're basically like, here's this fucking expensive-ass idea, here's this expensive-ass idea. They just keep fucking doing that, and then they'll come out with something that was probably really cheap to make, and it's fucking massive. It's just a huge-ass success.
Of course, they ain't got shit on Capcom. They are the true masters of throwing shit against the wall. That's why their new name is Crapcom.
I'm not gonna argue with that. Fucking Capcom is goddamn horrible. Street Fighter V exclusive to PS4, and even though it's exclusive, they still can't fucking make the goddamn thing right.
This is the only time you'll ever see me agree with Angry Joe. He likes all them new trash games that come out, but you go watch, to anybody listening to this podcast, the whole, 3 of you, go and watch Angry Joe's review on Umbrella Corps. He is absolutely right. They tried to market this game. They made it like Call of Duty of Resident Evil. And then they're like, oh, you gotta buy everything. I'm sorry?
I thought you hated Angry Joe.
I do. But he is right on this topic. This is the one time you'll hear me agree with him.
Alright then.
And on that, I'd say what, you want to conclude? Is it that time of the night?
I was just gonna ask if there was anything left.
We were through all the subjects.
Alright then.
So,
done.
This has been another episode of the Cynic Show. I'd like to apologize. Kyle couldn't make it. He was playing Pokemon Go. And
in a park with a bunch of underage children.
Yep.
Make of that as you will.
I'm not saying whether it's true or not, but you pissed us off by not being here, so, we gotta start a little controversy.
We're not saying he fucks kids. We're just saying that he likes to play Pokemon Go with them.
So, think of that as you will.
Just like how Michael Jackson liked having kids over to the Netherland Ranch,
With the Ferris wheel in his front yard.
Alright.
I'm your host, Neil Edlig.
Peace.
Peace.